The theme of exploitative power and manipulation focuses on the tactics used to exercise dominance and maintain control over others. The driving force behind such behavior typically revolves around seeking personal profit, self-fulfillment, transferring personal faults onto others, or the sheer pleasure of exerting control. The individuals on the receiving end of such behavior often endure psychological, physical, emotional, sexual, or economic oppression. Strategies that manipulators adopt to control their victims include positive reinforcement tactics, such as compliments, superficial charm, praise, flattery, and showing exaggerated affection. Negative reinforcement often entails removing unpleasant tasks or material possessions. Other coercive strategies encompass unpredictable rewards and punishments, emotional penalties like silent treatment, threats, intimidation, making the other person feel guilty, and severe tactics like verbal abuse or sudden outbursts of anger. The target's susceptibilities are often manipulated, with those who are more susceptible being prime candidates. Chronic abuse can give rise to a damaging bond between the oppressor and the victim, cultivating a tense atmosphere. The abuser may attempt to normalize or rationalize their behavior, or even place the blame on the victim. Investigating this behavior in the realm of abnormal psychology reveals that certain personality disorders exhibit a compulsion to ensure compliance or exercise control. These personality disorders fall into three categories. Those falling in Cluster B, which includes narcissistic, histrionic, borderline, and antisocial personality disorders, may have a predisposition for displaying power play tendencies. People with antisocial personality disorders use their superficial charm as a tool to get others to meet their needs. They view others merely as tools, boosting their inflated self-worth. This lack of empathy lends itself to deceit and manipulating others. Those with borderline personality disorder display extreme polarized thinking and have heightened sensitivity to others' perception, driving them to ensure compliance to mold that perception. Histrionic personality disordered individuals crave constant attention. Their interactions revolve around using relationships for their advantage. Narcissistic personality disordered individuals, steeped in self-centrism and hypersensitivity towards criticism, compel others to meet their demands to maintain their self-esteem and to shield their true, vulnerable selves. For narcissists, maintaining control over others, especially their offspring, who they view as expressions of themselves, is a means of self-preservation. In England and Wales, the law acknowledges the severity of controlling or coercive behavior within personal or familial relationships, as highlighted by the Serious Crime Act, 2015. This act criminalizes such behavior, provided it can be demonstrated to be recurrent and have had significant adverse effects on the victim. Establishing this constitutes showing the victim to have feared violence or to have suffered detriment to their day-to-day activities. At least twice the prosecution should prove that the perpetrator intended to control or manipulate the victim. Striving to foster understanding of coercive control, the UK government incorporated teaching about it into the mandatory relationship education syllabus in 2019. In Ireland, the Domestic Violence Act 2018 similarly acknowledged coercive control, basing its identification on its impact on victims. It defines the crime as any manifestation of physical, psychological, or emotional deterioration in either the applicant or any dependents, directly attributable to the fear elicited by the respondent's behavior. Across the pond, the United States has implemented laws aimed at mitigating domestic violence against children. These laws require individuals in certain professions, like teachers and healthcare providers, to report any incidents of abuse they suspect occurring in a child's household. Despite these efforts, due to family law predominantly falling under the purview of state and local governments in the U.S., the legal response to coercive control is inconsistent across states.